Hello everyone, and welcome to our video. We are Team Crusher, and I'm going to give you a quick overview of the performing stage. Right now teams are pumped up. We all have pride in our work. The trust is high because we've been working with each other for a long time, so we're comfortable. You know, we're running smooth. Communication is free-flowing and is all the time. But you can't relax during this stage or you might slip back into some of the earlier stages. So utilize constructive criticism and feedback. Now, negative feedback is very important in a team setting because it forces you to analyze and fix your problems. So speak as a we rather than you. Remember, you're a team, and describe what happened in factual terms. You don't want to point fingers. And there's, that's a few advantages of feedback, but there's also some disadvantages that Mike has discovered.
Yeah, like while reading the Mackin textbook on page 162, you come across some of the disadvantages. For one, peer feedback can be time-consuming. Like as we were doing our peer evaluation, sometimes it took you like 30 minutes just to figure out something constructive to say, given a like a two-sentence blurb. Another thing is sometimes it's difficult to distinguish between the contributions of the different team and individual members. Like when writing up our assignment contributions list, sometimes I'd forget like what I edited, what Nico edited, and what the team came up with as a whole.
And so we had to figure out a way of avoiding these disadvantages, right, Nick?
Yeah, Deborah Mackin mentions that not to make the assessments a long, drawn-out process early on in the life of the team, nor do you want to make a big deal about them. You want to start small with the process for notes at the end of team meetings and work your way up from there.
So, remember to be positive. Celebrate your successes with the team. There's no I in team, but there is me. Everybody's a part of it. And this is why teams need to be both effective and efficient, right, Dan?
Being both effective and efficient is really important because if you have one without the other, you create this imbalance. If you're more effective than you are efficient, you're going to be on the right track, but you're just not going to be moving quickly or doing it well. If you're more efficient than you are effective, you're going to be doing lots of work just in completely wrong direction, and that's really going to hurt the team because it's going to take extra manpower and time to get back on course. To resolve this or even just establish this, if I can just quickly paraphrase a section from an effectiveness and quality and efficiency article, effectiveness really encourages innovation. You gotta think of ways to be effective, and then once you have encouraged that innovation, you'll find an efficient process from that, and to stay efficient, you really just have to maintain steps and do the successful behavior over and over again. Because really just losing sight of this is really just bad. Efficiency really looks at avoiding mistakes, whereas effectiveness is about gaining success.
So what you're saying is you need to be properly balanced. At this point in time, your team should be able to produce quality work, without losing sight of the vision of the team. Right, Talon?
Yeah, the vision, as I've been researching, is key and essential to a team. It keeps the different departments working together and focused on a bigger picture. The unified goal drives the team to success, and with losing that from a loss of morale or general dissatisfaction can be devastating to the team. It causes problems because when the teams lose sight of the vision, they're not working together. They're working separately as individuals and sometimes not working in the right direction. Kind of like with what Dan was saying about being efficient but not effective. And in order to fix that, the team should revisit the team charter, go over the goals that was agreed upon, clearly communicate them, further develop and unify the team from doing that. And from reestablishing that vision, the team can be more focused on its goals. And it ties into the being effective and efficient. And the unified vision will bring everyone together instead of making a series of independent departments and fracturing the team.
Those are all good points, but it can be hard to keep the vision in mind when dealing with virtual team settings such as we are forced to do. We did a little research on this, and as a matter of fact, I think Dan did that, right, Dan?
Yep. Speaking in general, there are many, companies in today's world that are expanding with more of a global presence per se, and with that comes more of a need for a more efficient way of communicating. And being a virtual team, it provides a way for people to meet while being split up around the world, and also utilize the talents that people possess, wherever they are. So with meeting virtually, a team can face, a couple challenges such as different time zones, work schedules, which, we as a team have had to address and work around, and which we did. Even challenges with communicating with each other on a personal level. But one of the bigger ones is that it can be easy to forget who you're working with on a team with, not meeting each other in person, because that leaves a lot of the details out of the picture. But in an EBSCO host article entitled Principles for Effective Virtual Teamwork, it was said that unlike face-to-face teams, people working synchronously at a distance tend to forget who is at the other end of the wire. And the study revealed that it actually only takes 10 minutes for a virtual team member to forget who they're working with. And that almost never happens with a face-to-face team. But
so
what's that?
What you're saying is that the roles need to be more defined.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, all the team members have to have a clear, defined role within their team.
All right, and with defined roles, also comes ownership. You have to own your work. You have to own your mistakes, and you have to own your successes. You have to be accountable to these. And I believe, our instructor said in his lecture that the single most important thing missing from many teams is a sense of ownership. But we kind of figured out why this was so important, right, Nick?
Yeah, when people lack ownership, they're not taking pride in their work. They don't have a sense of personal accountability for the stuff that they're doing. Plus, as far as the team goes, there's no shared risks or rewards. And when you have the lack of ownership, it's also called dump and run, which translates to dumping your problems off on somebody else and running away from them. It's something that can plague teams from the start, and if you don't deal with them early on, they'll run over into the future and really mess the team up. People try to blame their mistakes and pitfalls on someone else by making comments such as, "It's not my fault," or "He didn't get the required stuff to me on time, so I couldn't deal with it." When these types of behaviors linger, they can really decrease the morale throughout the entire team and just really leave a bad taste in everybody's mouth. When they see one person doing it, the next person will do it, and eventually the entire team has no ownership for whatever's being worked on.
So are there ways to increase the sense of ownership?
Well, I'll take this one if you don't mind. First off, according to a Tech Republic article by Ken Harden, one of the ways to do this is to let the team itself pick the project. It'll make a difference in the quality of the work experience. And you have to make sure just to give attribution, give credit to the team members that have done the work, as opposed to if you're the manager of the project, taking all the credit for yourself and saying I came up with this. You want to let the higher ups know that the team themselves did it, and that will all increase the sense of the sense with the team within the team itself that they are responsible for this. Also, according to a Tech News World article by Mugonaut, it helps to build a community around common interests. Just basically, have a lunch every week for the design department or something, where they can all get together and discuss the latest innovations in new programming software, or just basically gives them a chance to talk about what project they're working on and what's exciting them now.
So to kind of summarize what we're saying, feedback is good, but make sure it's in a team setting. You're not pointing fingers at each other. Make sure you're both effective and efficient, not one or the other, because that's going to be detrimental. Don't lose sight of your vision. Your vision is what keeps your team together. And, it's a virtual setting, so you're going to really have to work at it. It's not going to be easy. And with that, you're going to make mistakes, so own your mistakes, own your successes, do this as a team. Well, we'd like to thank you for viewing our video. We hope you learned something, and we are Team Crusher.
Have a good night.